Hello everyone, welcome to Pepcoding. I think all of you were enjoying the string module. In this module today we will learn about a new topic, that is the comparison operators. I think everyone knows what is operator. These are nothing but these are just the symbols that perform operations. Over here we will be looking about only the comparison operators, that is the operators which is used to compare the two values. If you have a two value, let's suppose a and b, and if you want to compare these two values, how you'll compare it? These operators basically helps in comparing the values. For example, they are basically, in this module we will be looking about the four operators: equal to operator, not equal to operator, greater than, and less than operator. Now, for example, if you have a two values 2 and 3, if you put equal to operator between them, what will be the output? False, because 2 is not equals to 3. If you will put 2 is not equals to 3, you are telling that 2 is not equals to 3. Yes, right, it is. It will gives you a true. Is 2 is greater than 3? No, it is not. It will gives you a false. Is 2 is less than 3? Yes, it is. So your output will be 2. So I think everyone knows that how to use these operators on integer values. If both are the integer values, it is easy to identify the answer, the output, what will be the output. But the question comes over here is how we use comparison operators over these strings. How actually strings get compared in Python. Let's look it out. I'll be writing several things and try to find its output. For example, if I've written A is equal to B, is A is greater than B, is A is not equals to B, is B is equal to B, is B is not equals to B, and one more thing, is B is greater than B. Now, before solving to these questions, I would like to explain out some of the concept over these comparison operators, that how strings evaluate these comparison operators. What happens in Python basically, now a string is what? A string is nothing but it's just a collection of character that I have already taught you in the previous lectures, that it is nothing but it's just a collection of characters. Now, basically what happens when you create a string, for example, str is equals to pep. Now, a string gets converted into an individual characters. For individual characters, a Unicode value is present. That is, each string will get converted into individual character, and for each individual character a Unicode value is present. For example, whenever in a string a small a comes, its value will get the compiler, the interpreter. In Python we have interpreter, it will consider a as 65. Whenever you write capital A, sorry, okay, my mistake, I've made a mistake later over here. For small a the value is 97, for capital A the value is 65. Similarly, not only for A, for B you will have 98, for C you will have 99, for capital A 65, for capital B you will be having 66 value, for capital C the value will be 67. This is how internally the interpreter understands the character. So there is basically the three layer of coding. You could consider there are basically three layers. You write a string, it gets converted into You write a string, it gets converted into an individual character. Individual characters. This is nothing but individual characters, and that individual characters will get converted into their respective Unicode values. And when you use comparison operators, basically Unicode values get compared. Unicode values gets compared. Unicode value gets compared. So these are the key points. If you will look out this diagram, I'm refocusing on this diagram. Look out this diagram very clearly. What happens? You create a string in Python. It gets converted into internally individual characters. Every individual character is assigned with its respective Unicode value. And when comparison operators is used, their respective Unicode values get compared. But a question comes, to perform comparison, will you need to memorize these values? The answer is a big no. No. You just need to remember the two things, that your uppercase A has a value of 65, your lowercase a has a value of 97. Now, how these two things will help us to identify all the solutions? Let's look it out. Okay, so we'll be solving out these individual questions that I have written over here. But before that, just write these two key points. I'm writing over here, A Unicode value is 65, small a Unicode value is 97. So just focus on these 2 points. Now, let's try to solve individual questions. You have given is A is equals to B. You know it very well. A value is 97. So ultimately the other character will have some other value. So they can't be equal. And B value is 98, which is quite obvious. Because if one character has been assigned to one individual value, other character will obviously have some other value. So they can't be equal. So your answer will be false. Now you are comparing, is A is greater than B. You know A value is 97, and in alphabet order, if you will write A, B, C till Z, ultimately A value is 97. So B value will be greater than it. So A greater than B? No, obviously not. The value of B is 98. So your answer will be again false. Just use the basic stuff. For example, if you know A value is 97, then obviously other characters value will be larger to it. Now, look at the third one. A is not equals to B. You know it, A value is 97, and if there is another character, it will be having some other value. So that value, even it is X. So you know it, 97 can't be equal to X. So your answer will automatically be true. Now, let's look out to the fourth one, that B is equal to B. Now, will it gives you a true or false? Because you have one B over here, but you have two B's over here. So it will perform a comparison for 1B to 1B. Yes, they are equal, but for the other B, there is nothing left. So it will return you false. Now, again, if you will look out to the very last one, if you will look at to the last question, that B is not equals to B. You know it very well that an uppercase character value starts from 65. The lowercase character value starts from 97. How they can be equal? So they are not equal. Exactly, the B value will be 66 and the small b value will be 98, but you does not need to memorize. You know it very well. The uppercase alphabets value starts from 65 and the lowercase value starts from 97. They won't be equal, so your answer will automatically be false. If you will look it out to this, you know it, the lowercase value starts from 97 and the uppercase value starts from 65. So ultimately this is greater than this, so your answer will be true. But what is the actual value of b is 98 and the actual b of b is 67, so obviously it is also greater than. So just use the basic stuff that what I have taught you over here. Just memorize these two things, that the uppercase a value is 65. So from a to z, the value may range from 65 to something you can simply find it out. And a to small z, the range will start from 97, and we know it very well. We have around 26 characters in alphabet. We have 26 characters in our alphabet, so we can even find its last range as 65 plus 26 and 97 plus 26. It will return you something around 91, and this will give you 123. So this is basically the range from 65 to 91. Okay, and for smaller case values, the range will be from 97 to 123. Now, this is what I have taught you to find out, to perform the comparisons as well as to find out the range. Just memorize these two words, that the Unicode value for A is 65 and the Unicode value for small a is 97. Hello everyone, welcome to Pepcoding. As in our previous video, we have learned about the comparison operators and we have looked at how actually strings get compared. Strings gets compared just because of their Unicode values. Now, most of the time, a problem may occur with the programmer that they may need a Unicode value. They have a character and they want its respective Unicode value, or vice versa. You may have a Unicode value, you want to see that Unicode value refers to which character. So in those cases, we have two inbuilt functions available. The one is the odd function, the second one is the char function. Odd function basically means to find the ordinal values. Now, as you know it, ordinal values are also termed as Unicode values. So don't get confused. Unicode, if someone says that Unicode values, give me the Unicode value, it basically means that you have to find an ordinal value. So these are just two different terms, but their meaning is same. So to find out the ordinal value, and if you have a character, for example, if I have a character A, I need to find its respective ordinal value. So what I do, I'll just call an odd function in which I'll pass a character and it will return me the respective Unicode value or the ordinal value. You could say the respective Unicode value it will return, or it will return me the respective ordinal values. Similarly, you can pass any other characters also. For example, if you have passed the capital lock A, it will return you the 65. So what the ordinal function does, it takes an input of a character and it will return you its respective ordinal values, or you could say it will return you its respective Unicode value. Now, As ordinal odd function, as the odd function takes an input of character and returns you the ordinal value or the Unicode value, just opposite the char function does. Char function takes an input of an integer value, that means, or you could say more precisely, you can say the Unicode value or the ordinal value, and it returns you the respective character. It will return you the respective character to which that particular Unicode value refers. For example, if inside a char function I pass 97, it will return me a small a. If inside a char function I pass 65, it will return me a caps lock of a. Yeah, in most of the example I'm using these two, small a and caps lock a, because I know the respective Unicode values of small a and capital A. And for other characters I doesn't know, and I have already taught you that how to find the Unicode values for a character, and how, if you have a Unicode value, how can you find the respective character. So I'll make a small table over here. If you have a character and you want to find an integer, so if you want to move in this way, if you have a character and you want to find an integer value, you'll call an ordinal function. You will call an ordinal function. For this particular case, you'll call an odd function. Now, if you have an integer value and you want a respective character, from integer to character, you will be calling a char function. So remember this. So if you have a character, you want its respective, odd means ordinal value. So if you want to find an ordinal value, then obviously you need to pass a character. Char means you need, if you want to find a character, then respectively you need to pass integer value. Okay, so these are quite easy two functions. Just go through it once again so that you does never get confused that what actually this ordinal function does, what actually this char function does. The name refers to the output. Remember this, the name refers to the output. Now you won't get confused. The name will refers to the output. If you want ordinal value, then call an odd function. If you want a character, you call a char function, and pass just opposite things. Obviously you are having that only, you will be having a character, then only you need an ordinal value. You will be having an respective ordinal value, then only you will be calling a char function. So that's all for this video. We'll be meeting in the next video.